here's where I'm going to say 4 words that I really want you to listen to and own for yourself. Simplifying is a strategy. Hi, this is Monica Packer, and you're listening to About Progress, where we are about progress made practical. When my 3 oldest kids were quite little, sometime in 2015, I remember nursing my baby while also reading a Facebook post from a friend. She and her husband had been arguing over grocery budgets, and they wanted to know what people were spending in our area on their groceries each month. Comments came flooding in with all sorts of numbers, from $300 a month to $1,500 a month. I saw one mom with 5 kids say it was impossible for her to spend less than $1,300 a month to feed her family, and my stomach dropped. $1,300? I thought, really? But also, is that in my future? Dear listener, the answer was and is yes. Fast forward 10 years, and not only is $1,300 a reasonable amount for a family of 7 like mine to spend each month on groceries. Actually, if your receipt totals add up to that number, with 7 people in your family just like us, you'd be doing better than most people. Brad and I met with a financial advisor in 2024. It was Elizabeth from Fearless Finance, a longtime sponsor and someone I've paid myself as a financial advisor, if you must know. And she told us at the time, again, 2024, so not that long ago, if you spend around $200 per person per month on groceries, you are doing great. For our family, that number adds up to $1,400 a month. Gulp. And yet, in that moment, I was so proud to tell Elizabeth that I had been working on saving groceries the last year, and our total was now averaging to about $1,100 a month. So totaling about $157 per person per month. And that is when I got to bask in Elizabeth's awe of me. I swear she did. If you've been grocery shopping anytime the last few years, you will be like me in 2023, panicking over how rising grocery costs are making it scary to feed a family, especially with growing children. Despite my own best efforts, I was spending well over what we did on our mortgage each month. I knew that we needed to eat. I knew that food was now our biggest expense. I knew I couldn't control the prices of toilet paper nor eggs. But I also knew that I had to figure this out so there could be less stress, more peace, and more money to go in our bank account and to go towards things like speech therapy for my kids, and maybe an occasional soda or another treat for us all. So I set out to crack the grocery code, one specific to us, to our family. And after about a year of working on it, I finally did. But I didn't get there alone. It's now been 18 months of consistently working with my own grocery game plan. And today I want to share the Smart 7 tips that have saved us literally thousands of dollars the past 18 months, and how you can create your own grocery game plan too using those same tips. That's coming up after a quick break for our sponsors. If you're like us, you don't know how poor the air quality is in your home until something happens, whether it's you burn something in the oven, or a kid gets diagnosed with more indoor allergies, or there's sickness that goes through the family so easily. All of the above have been some of the many reasons that we have been happy customers of Air Doctor, the award-winning air purifier that eliminates 99.99% of dangerous contaminants like allergens, viruses, smoke, gases, mold spores, and more. The indoor air we breathe can be up to 100 times more polluted than outdoor air. And this is something that we could not ignore, from cooking fiascos to more allergies in our family. Unlike other air purifiers, Air Doctor captures invisible particles 100 times smaller than standard HEPA filters, which is a big relief to my mama heart. And I can tell you with full confidence, our Air Doctor is something I cannot live without. Head to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code MONICA to get up to $300 off today. Air Doctor comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, plus a 3-year warranty, and $84 value free. Get this exclusive podcast-only offer now at airdoctorpro.com. That's airdoctorpro.com using promo code MONICA. I've been talking about it all summer, but the time is soon approaching for my sign up for my tour to Rome, Italy. If you haven't heard, I'm so honored to be hosting a female foodie signature tour to Rome for just the About Progress community in the fall of 2026. But tickets go on sale this September 9th to a wait list only. Speaking of the wait list, it is really important you get on there. Not only do female foodie tours sell out in minutes, the wait list is going to get exclusive previews and content and other features throughout August. From a preview of our dinner plans and what we're going to be doing in Italy to a Q&A call with Brooke Elison, the founder of Female Foodie. You need to get on the waitlist for those things and to get access to signing up for the tour on September 9th. You can do so by going to aboutprogress.com/Italy. I cannot wait to explore the beauties of Italy and to give you time to and for yourself in this very special way next year, but again, going on sale this fall. Go to aboutprogress.com/Italy. Maybe you were with me on Instagram in 2023 when I began to share to my stories something I, in the moment, called honest receipts, where I show my groceries in the background, whether it's a full cart or it's on the counter, and I hold up my receipt if I have it, or the number total if it didn't come with a receipt, because sometimes grocery pickups don't. Actually, most of the time they don't. And that was just me in the messy middle of trying to figure it out. There were some things that were starting to lower that needle a little bit, but even after almost a year of working on it, the lowest I could seem to get our grocery bills to was about $1,300 on a very good month. But most months, I was still spending around $1,500 a month. Now, according to Elizabeth, that wasn't terrible. But for me and my family, that's still so much money. A little less than a year into this, I interviewed Rachel Coons for About Progress, and her advice tipped me over the savings edge. I recently re-aired that interview just a few weeks ago, and I linked to it so you can listen too. After implementing her advice combined with the other tactics that I had developed up to that point, my new normal average, and still my average right now, is spending around $1,100 a month. I know that's a high number, but the breakdown really matters. On average, that's about $157 a month per person, so well below the $200 a month per person that our financial advisor advised. Sometimes I even get to $1,000 or even a little lower. Here's a bigger number for you. I have been saving an average of $400 a month the past 18 months. When I set out to do so, I knew it would save me money, but I didn't know it would save me other things. It would save me stress, conflict, and anxiety. I didn't know it could also make more things possible, not only to not fret over those speech therapy bills, which have abounded the last 18 months, we've also been able to have a little bit more everyday fun with my kids. And one other big thing, if I add up all the numbers, those savings have single-handedly covered my upcoming Pride and Prejudice tour I'm taking to England this fall. So much more has been made possible than us just having more money in the bank account. And this is what I want for you too. I want you to have less stress, more savings, of course, but also more fun and freedom. So what I want to share with you now is the SMART 7. These are the practical, meaning doable, strategies that have helped me save money without resorting to extremes like couponing and making every little thing from scratch. And that's all key to me because my overarching strategy to save money is to do so in a way that doesn't add more onto my plate and add additional stress. It's about balancing that line, strategic and simplifying. So I'm going to share those 7 with you. And I will be sure to shout out the ones that specifically came from Rachel Coons in the podcast episode that we did together, which she was so kind to give me permission to share. I put this all in a guide for you because there's going to be a lot of information to come from here. And it's the most requested freebie resource that has ever been requested from this community. I'm calling it the Grocery Game Plan Guide. And it's a way for you to take my Smart 7 strategies and turn it into your own blueprint. You can get that at aboutprogress.com/groceries, and that's plural, groceries. Now, you'll notice I said to create your own game plan. That's all to be really clear about something. What works for me, what we end up spending, what we prioritize, what we don't spend money on, that is what works for us, and it may not work for you. For some people, you would listen to this and you would think, why would I buy anything pre-made like pasta when I can make it myself? For others of you, you would question how much I make from scratch. These Smart 7 are strategies that transcend prescriptions. You can apply them to what works for you and yours, so please do so. The second half of this episode will be me answering the most frequently asked questions I get when I share my honest receipts and where I'm at in my monthly budget. It includes things like, how do you keep things fresh? And what about snacks? And do you include home items as part of your grocery bill? Just stay tuned. I'll be answering that all in the second half. Let's now go to the Smart 7. 7 strategies that are flexible, practical, and working right now and will work for you too, regardless of if you want to make everything from scratch or coupon, go for it. The first strategy is to shop smarter, not harder. Before those tipping point strategies I learned from Rachel, my main strategy was to shop for different things at different stores. But that meant I was still shopping at too many places on a weekly basis, and those trips still add up and fast. So I don't recommend that. But what I would recommend is that you know the stores in your area and which are best for which things. So which store is best for bulk buying? Which store has the best overall pricing? Which store has the best fresh but affordable produce, and so on. Once you know your core stores and their strengths, then you can shop smarter and not harder, timing which stores you hit and when within a month, and all connected to the next strategies I will share. So the first strategy of the Smart 7 is to shop smarter, not harder. The second strategy, meal plan. And that is a verb. You need to meal plan. I have to be honest with you. I hate meal planning, but it truly is the single most important habit that helps me save the most money. So here is how I simplify it, because my name of the game is simplification. I only meal plan for dinners, and I do so 2 weeks at a time. More on that in just a second. Of those dinners, I only have to meal plan 3 to 4 new meals a week. So that's 8 meals total that I plan for 2 weeks. On the other nights, we eat other things. Thursdays are typically either leftovers or things we eat from the freezer or pantry. Fridays are always sourdough pizza, so I don't have to ever plan that. Saturdays are our date night for me and Brad, and we usually just make boxed mac and cheese, Annie's mac and cheese for the kids, or even a quesadilla. So it's really 8 meals. Another thing that I do that helps with this is I rarely consult a cookbook or the internet to plan those meals. I mostly pull from the dinners my family tends to all like the most, and seasonably so. That means in the winter, we eat a lot more soup, and I know what soups they like, or warmer meals. In the summer, I know what kind of summer meals they like, from things we grill outside or fresh salads or even things like sandwiches. So when I sit down to meal plan, I do so for 2 weeks and I do it quite simply. It always takes me less than 5 minutes. Now, doing the meal plan for 2 weeks at a time, at first it seems a little bit like intensive, but honestly isn't when I do it that way. 8 meals, pull from the meals we typically eat. Yes, it kind of is simple, but doing so makes it so much easier. Now, that meal plan and then my essentials list is what makes my grocery list and guides where I will shop. And I'll get to all that in a moment. So that second strategy is to meal plan. The next strategy is have an essentials list. This is a tip from Rachel Coons. You keep a list on hand. I have mine on a note on my phone on the Notes app. You keep a list on hand of the items that typically send you to the store. These are things that then are known as your essentials list. It will likely include basics like bread and eggs and milk. But on our essentials list, I also include what we need on hand for the traditional breakfasts and lunches that we make for our family. That way I don't have to meal plan them. But since we tend to have these on rotation, I don't know, on Mondays we ate this, on Tuesdays we ate this, but since we tend to eat the same kinds of things for breakfast and lunches, and to accommodate certain kids' preferences, I put those items on my essentials list. A funny thing on my essentials list is Nutella. I have a few picky eaters, and one in particular doesn't get many calories because she doesn't like to eat a lot of things, but she likes Nutella, so I make sure we always have it on hand. So your essentials list, again, may be the basics, but it can also be things that you need to have on hand to make breakfasts and lunches and certain snacks or to match food preferences in your family. You need to reference your essentials list as you make your grocery list before you shop alongside your meal plan. That strategy was to have an essentials list. The next strategy, number 4, is to shop bi-weekly. This was the biggest tipping point tip that I got from Rachel Coons. Thanks to all those prior strategies, meal planning and having an essentials list, knowing where to shop, you are set up to shop bi-weekly, getting 2 weeks of food at a time. This means a few things. You are going to have more food at first, and you'll get to the point where you are almost, if not entirely, out of food. And both of those things will require some adjustment as a family. And I will be really honest with you. Shopping bi-weekly is more easily done if you have a good size fridge and freezer. And if you have an extra one, which we do, and I will just be very honest, that is one of the biggest things that makes it possible for us to do this. Our main fridge in the house is tall, but it's not deep at all. So we have a very cheap fridge-freezer combo in our garage. If you don't have the space, whether it's in your house or you don't have an additional fridge or freezer, then no, it's okay. You still want the goal to do the bulk of your shopping every 2 weeks, and you can do a small essentials-only trip like produce or eggs or milk in between. And this is just one of those things where you stay out of the bar. If you just do it every 2 weeks, you're going to be surprised with how much you saved. And in addition to that, try to do grocery pickup as much as possible instead of going in store. So the fourth strategy was shop bi-weekly. The fifth is to use what you know. As I mentioned with meal planning, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Think about the go-to meals, foods, and snacks most of your family enjoys. Also, think about the absolute no-nos that typically end in the trash, thereby making it feel like you should just throw away your money. If you and your family don't like to repeat meals often, what do you know about which cookbooks or websites are both the easiest and more of a sure thing for you to reference as you meal plan? Here's where I'm going to say 4 words that I really want you to listen to and own for yourself. Simplifying is a strategy. Simplifying is a strategy. So talk to your family and make a list of what they like and what they need on hand, both for main meals and for snacks. And write down what meals satisfy the most eaters. I know you can't win them all. I just shoot for most of the family likes a meal, and then I have bread, cheese, or produce on the side for those who are pickier in our family. And if it really is a meal where someone's like, I can't eat anything, I totally let someone make a sandwich. That's our go-to, but it doesn't happen too often. So the fifth strategy was to use what you know. The sixth strategy, rework snacks. Snacks as a category is typically one of the biggest pain points for many families. We need snacks, kids want them, but individually packaged snacks are pricier and they're typically not super nutritious or very filling. I find that my kids get hungry sooner when they're just really snacky. This is where I lovingly invite you to rework snacks. What are the few packaged snacks your family can't live without? We have them. Granola bars is one of ours. And fruit strips, another kid has to have them. And individually packaged cheese for lunchboxes and a quick snack on the go. So we have them too. But in addition to that, think about what you can also have on hand that isn't the pre-packaged, individually packaged snacks that get really pricey. Maybe you can bulk bake muffins and have them in the freezer. Maybe you can do more apples, cheese, and crackers kind of snacks or popcorn. I have a lot more examples of these kinds of snacks in the grocery game plan guide. Again, simplifying is a strategy. So you don't have to eliminate snacks altogether, and you don't have to never buy anything packaged or individually packaged. Instead, just think about how to rework snacks in a way that work for your household and don't cost as much. The sixth strategy was to rework snacks, and the seventh and final strategy is to be flexible. Any of the strategies will take both time and curiosity to implement. I found that especially true for shopping bi-weekly. It took time to get used to. It will likely take a few months to put these strategies in place and for your family to get accustomed to it too. So stay the course and know that it's okay if you intended to shop only twice this month, but you ended up having to do a produce or milk run in between. When that happens, you're learning, and every misstep is actually just more information on what is going to be right for your specific family. Like if you find yourself still going to get milk in between, then you know you need to buy more milk. Or if you can never go in between, maybe you just have to own that's your time and season to do a bulk shop twice a month and to do a small grocery pickup for in between. If any of these strategies don't work for you, that's okay too. You can throw out the prescriptions and you can make your own. And that truly is the most important key to forming sustainable strategies. Even if you save a little money a month, even $100, you are saving and that adds up. And it's worth all the effort and saved time and stress too. So let's repeat the SMART 7. Shop smarter, not harder. Meal plan. Have an essentials list. Shop bi-weekly. Use what you know. Rework snacks. And be flexible. Again, that's all available for you in the Grocery Game Plan Guide. It's a freebie that you can get at aboutprogress.com/groceries. In that guide, I also give examples of what we eat for breakfast and lunches, what we make sure we have on hand for our essentials list. I include a meal plan printable where you can print out 2 weeks worth at a time and write on that, and a ton more stuff in there, including the answers to the most frequently asked questions. Speaking of which, I will answer next after the break. I made 10 big personal goals for 2025, and one of them was to follow through with our plan to build up financial security. Last year, it was about simply getting information on how to do so with major questions like, how much do we actually need to save for retirement? And is where we are with college savings going to be enough for our kids? And is our budget on track to meet our larger goals? But honestly, I just needed to know this. Are we okay? Brad and I met with Elizabeth, our financial advisor from Fearless Finance, to answer these big questions and more. We left our sessions feeling not only more secure, but with a plan in place, with literal tasks we could check off to move forward towards increased financial security. Each month this year, Brad and I have been getting together to check off the tasks that Elizabeth laid out for us. Next up, we are doing estate planning with Fearless Finance too. If you think financial planning is only for the rich, or is a bogus industry, or you just don't know who to trust or who won't judge you, look no further than Fearless Finance. Their mission is to make advice affordable and accessible. You meet with your planner virtually and they charge by the hour. You'll only pay for the time you use down to the quarter hour. Whether you're looking to pay off student loans, buy a house, or just want to make sure your finances are okay, they can answer your questions. No question is too small, no problem is too big. Visit fearlessfinance.com today. You can chat with the planner for free to make sure it's a good fit, and you'll get $50 off your first planning meeting when you use the code PROGRESS. Again, go to fearlessfinance.com and use the code PROGRESS. We mistakenly believe that a good mom equates a martyr mom. But all this does is create worn out moms who find more resentment than fulfillment in motherhood. It is good to want more. Moms who have more in their lives have more to give from, more energy, more fun, more love, because they are more themselves. If this is appealing to you, I want to invite you to my first inaugural More for Moms conference. It's a free 7-day conference I'm hosting for moms who are ready for more in their lives, more in their happiness, habits, health, home, and hobbies. And you guys are getting the first dibs. You can go to aboutprogress.com/moreformoms to check out what I have been working on for several months, including the 25 high caliber speakers that we are hosting for this 7-day event. Each world-class speaker will teach deep and practical ways for mothers to access more fulfillment, joy, and progress in their lives. And this shift matters not only because it helps enrich their families, but because each woman is a person in her own right and worthy of more. It's time for you to lean into more. Go to aboutprogress.com/moreformoms. I cannot wait to have you part of the conference. In the grocery game plan guide, I break down so many questions. What I'm going to do is answer the ones that come up the most frequently, and then I'll tell you which other ones I cover in that guide. The first one is just how much should we be spending? Now, I already told you about how our financial advisor said you'd be doing well if you spent an average of $200 per person per month. That's a really good number to put a pulse on. So do the math. What would that look like for you? If you're like us and that still feels like too much, then no, it is possible to go down on that number over time and make that be your goal. The number for us is usually $150 to $165 per person per month, and that's right for us. We don't feel like we're going hungry. We don't feel like we're getting denied food. I still get ice cream. I still get granola bars. I still get goldfish, stuff like that too. The next biggest question is, how do you keep things fresh? This is the thing I thought would hold us up the most, especially because my pickiest eater tends to really thrive off of eating fresh produce. Like, that's one of the things she will eat. I will say there is plenty of produce that surprisingly lasts longer than just a few days, even up to the full 2 weeks. Apples last a long time, carrots, celery, grapes, certain romaine lettuces, especially when it's just like the full lettuce, the full head of lettuce, potatoes. I still buy lots of produce that doesn't last more than a week, like fresh berries and spinach, but we just prioritize eating those things first. Otherwise, we also keep frozen produce on hand, like berries, peas, corn, stir-fry veggies, spinach, broccoli. But surprisingly, we don't eat exclusively frozen produce on our second week. It's just more of ways for us to fill in the gaps. Another thing about freshness is milk. We usually buy 5 gallons to go for 2 weeks at a time. Never goes bad because we drink it all. But did you know you can freeze milk? If you have room in the freezer, you can do that. If you're going through 2.5 gallons over 2 weeks, then you can freeze one and just pull it out and let it defrost in the fridge over a day or two, and it works perfectly. Bread is the same. I usually buy 4 loaves at a time, and I freeze 2 and I keep one in the fridge and one out on the counter. And if we run out of bread before the 2 weeks is up, I make sourdough bread a few times a week as needed until we shop again. But if you find that you can't make it 2 weeks with certain items, again, it goes back to do the bulk grocery run for a 2-week period, and you can do an essentials only grocery pickup in between your bulk runs. And sometimes we still have to do that for milk or eggs or berries for my daughter who's like, I need something to eat. Then we go and do that. And it's no big deal because we're still largely staying out of the bar. The third biggest one is snacks. How do you handle snacks? I already shared some things about that. But with this, let me say, I do my best to adopt intuitive eating practices with my kids, teaching them to listen to their bodies. So when they say they're hungry, I do my best to believe them and let them eat. However, there are parameters. If we're having a meal within an hour, I encourage them to wait. And if it's clear they can't, then I have them snack on something very light, like carrots a piece of cheese, or a piece of fruit. After school, they're allowed a snack, but they can't eat after 4:30 because they always know we're going to eat between 5:30 and 6. And one of the things that I do that has saved us the most is packaged snacks, our granola bars, our prepackaged cheese or chomps or those fruit strips are only for when they are out of the home. So they're allowed to take granola bars with them to school alongside a sliced apple for their snack at lunch, or to put a fruit strip or that packaged cheese in their lunchbox. But at home, I want them to get a real slice of cheese or to get a piece of toast, something like that. Those individually packaged snacks are convenient, and I like to use them for convenience. So when we're outside of the home, if they're in the house, I try to say no granola bars when we're in our house. Get something else to eat. And it's just because they're pricey and kids plow through them. But at the same time, if the time saved is worth it to you or it's more of a survival season, then you do you. Another thing I do, like in the summer, I have a special bin of fun snacks galore that they can choose one in the afternoons as part of our reading club time. So this is still flexible. Reading club time is where they can read a book and eat a special snack. And since I know you'll ask, I buy those snacks at the beginning of the summer in bulk from Costco, and I do not count it towards my grocery budget for that month because it's a once in a year sort of thing. And for me, it's more about them reading than anything else. Some other examples of non-packaged snacks that the kids can grab for themselves or I can make if I have the time or energy are things like toast, fruit like apples, grapes, berries, bananas, cheese and crackers, veggies like carrots, celery, cucumbers, tomatoes, popcorn. I have a popcorn maker, or they can do some in the microwave, smoothies, muffins from the freezer, nuts, trail mix, reheated leftovers. My kids do that a ton. Pretzels, banana bread. There's so much more there. Another commonly asked question is organic. Like, do you buy things organic? I will say for years, I was able to prioritize organic food because my kids were younger, they didn't eat as much. And even though it was a little bit more, it didn't feel astronomical. But unfortunately, eating exclusively organic is just not feasible these days with the rising food prices, the number of kids we have, the special needs we have in our family that require money from our overall budget. And so I know we're not alone in that. So no, we don't shop strictly organic, but we also don't shop strictly non-organic either. I find that Costco has a lot more affordable organic options on certain types of foods. So if the pricing is fair, I pay attention to the price per ounce, then I'll grab those things how and when I can. I do find that to be possible in more preserved foods like chips, pretzels, and beans, but the days of us buying organic milk are gone. That's not in our budget. But we can often get organic frozen produce or sometimes fresh, like carrots or strawberries, if they're not exorbitant. And this is where you just get to choose what's right for you and yours. I have a friend who really feels strongly that it affects her health and one of her kids and their special needs and their tummies. And that's going to be right for her. That just means she knows she will have a bigger budget per person per month than other families may have to. And that's okay. It's all about what you want and need to prioritize and the trade offs you're willing to make. And that's where I'd also direct you back to the goal is not to spend $150 per person per month. The goal is to budget in ways that are going to be right for your family and make you feel like you are spending your money in ways that are wise and good. Another big question that comes up, home supplies, do we count those as groceries? For us, I do mostly count home supplies as part of our grocery budget, mostly because I get them at the same time as shopping and it feels simpler to me. So included in our budget, I count diapers, toilet paper towels, although we tend to use real tea towels as much as possible instead, cleaning agents like vinegar, baking soda, window cleaner, bleach, toilet bowl cleaner. I just include those in our budget. I don't think it adds that much for us. But again, it's all about simplifying for me. So that's why I just include it, and it does go towards our per person head count each month. However, what's not included, I get my laundry detergent now and my dishwasher pods via subscription from Earth Breeze. And I could include that in the overall budget, but I just don't. I just don't want to hate myself. It's all about simplifying. And if I know I'm spending like $20 to $30 a month on that stuff, fine. It's fine. And the final question I'll answer here, and then I'll tell you what other questions I answer in the guide, is about picky eaters. Do you have picky eaters? What do you do about preferences? This is where I'm going to go back to that strategy. Use what you know. Get really clear about what is right for your family, and that essentials list should reflect that. It's okay if you have picky eaters. We do too. I just try to make sure our essentials list include food that my pickiest eaters need on hand in order to stay nourished for their snacks or if they don't like the meal for the night. For our lunches, my kids make their own lunches. They usually make with me things like bagels with cream cheese that we put in the freezer, or ham and cheese sandwiches on Hawaiian rolls, or pizza pinwheels, or sandwich pinwheels, or certain muffins that I know they like. And I have those all in the freezer so they can grab the main thing and put in other sides that they like. So they have that control. At dinner time, I try to make the meals that work for the most in our family. But if they don't, we have a rule, and it's you don't have to like it, but you do have to try it. And if they don't like it, even after they try it, they're allowed to fill up on other sides or to go make themselves a sandwich or some toast, and I don't let it make me upset. So there's what I'll say about that. However, I have 2 nieces with celiac disease, and I wouldn't dare to assume that our budget and meal planning game plan would apply to how it needs to look in their household. So, if you are in a similar situation with picky eaters or food preferences or dietary restrictions or allergies or otherwise, this is where I will again strongly encourage you to make your own prescriptions. One family's grocery game plan won't work for another's. Other questions I answer in the grocery game plan guide is, how do you handle leftovers? Do you repeat meals a lot? What do you do when you're donating food or when you are entertaining people and hosting people to your home to eat? What stores do you shop at? More of a breakdown on the fridge and freezer space, how I manage coupons and sales. So again, to get the guide, go to aboutprogress.com/groceries, and it's the grocery game plan guide. As part of it, I also include some more resources like the bi-monthly printable for meal planning, a sample meal plan, samples essential list. I put sample go-to meals for breakfast and lunch and dinner. And then I also have a place for you to reflect and make your own game plan using the Smart 7 and the other suggestions that I have for you. Again, go to aboutprogress.com/groceries. In doing so, I hope again, you know the main goal here is to not do it the way I do it, to not spend what I spend, but to feed your family in ways that feel wise and good and right for you, and also more doable and applicable to your life. And if you save money, great. If you save stress, great. If you save time, also great. And here's a really fun one. If you're thinking about coming on my trip to Italy, maybe this could be a way to help make that more possible for you, because I did not know a year and a half ago that saving money in groceries like this was going to make something like that possible for me, and maybe that could happen for you. So whether it's the Italy trip, or maybe it's you get to have more sodas with your kids, or you can pay for speech therapy like we were able to more easily thanks to it, I'm so happy, and I hope it works for you. I hope this episode gave you the hug and kick in the pants you need to grow. I don't have specific progress pointers, but what I am going to do is to repeat the Smart 7 and direct you to the grocery game plan guide at aboutprogress.com/groceries. Number 1, shop smarter, not harder. Number 2, meal plan. Number 3, have an essentials list. Number 4, shop bi-weekly. Number 5, use what you know. Number 6, rework snacks. And number 7, be flexible. Instead of that being a graphic for those on my newsletter, I'm just going to include the guide right out. So if you're already on my newsletter, I'm going to send you the guide. And if you're not, just go to aboutprogress.com/groceries and you'll be able to get it there. Or you can go to aboutprogress.com/newsletter and get it there too. Now, if you listened to the ads in the middle, you heard a big announcement about my first ever online conference that I'm hosting called the More for Moms Conference. I am sharing it with my community first, so you get first dibs at signing up for free. It's going to be an experience to remember and going to change so much for so many women. You can go to aboutprogress.com/moreformoms to sign up. This podcast is listener supported. Members of the Supporters Club make my work with About Progress free and available to all. They also get access to 3 levels of exclusive benefits from more time to more content with me, including my private premium podcast, More Personal. You can check out the levels and sign up at aboutprogress.com/support. You can always support the show for free. The biggest thing right now is to just share the show with a friend. If this episode was helpful, copy the URL and send it their way. Thank you so much for listening. Now go and do something with what you learned today. And it's a free guide, and it's the most popular, and it's the most requested freebie resource that has ever been requested from this community.